92.7 WOBM, Kelly Clarkson for you on a Friday morning. Sue, we're going to be talking about movies, and of course, we love talking about that. It's the 14th annual Garden State Film Festival coming up the end of March into the beginning of April. Joining us this morning, the Executive Director, Margaret Fontana, and Nick Falcone, who's a Board of Director and Chairperson for the event, are with us. Margaret and Nick, good morning.
Hi, guys.
Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Great to have you here. Is this early for you guys or no?
No, this is good.
No?
This is good. Yeah, this is a great time.
I'm usually probably done with the gym by now.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, I'm not as productive as Nick.
Well, here we are. We're coming up on the 14th annual Garden State Film Festival. Tell us about some of the highlights for this year's event.
So this year, our festival starts March 31st, Thursday, into Sunday, April 3rd. And we have over, I'd say, 200
It's about 200 films. Yeah.
From 17 different countries. And we have workshops, different types of workshops. We have animation workshops. We have a screenplay read, which is a really exciting event. Nick probably knows
That's neat.
more on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the screenplay reading. Every year we have a screenplay competition. I think there were a little over 100 scripts submitted this year. And they pick one, and then we cast it with all professional actors, and it's free to come to. And it's a table read, so it's a unique experience in that something the public generally doesn't see the first time. Actors get a script and they sit down and just read through it.
Yeah.
And in our case, it's people that have never even met before. And what I try to do, we try to see if whatever celebrities are coming, if their schedule permits them to pull people who are in actual films from the year, and then fill in with other professional actors from the area.
Yeah,
And
cool.
it's a cool
exciting.
event. Yeah.
It's exciting because people get to really just, be part of something live.
Nice.
How does somebody's screenplay get chosen? Because I would imagine there's so many that come in.
Yeah, there were about 100 this year, and we used the New Jersey Screenwriters Association. So they have their group, and they get a bunch of readers, and they start reading the scripts, and then they go through rounds. So each script is read by at least a couple people, and then they whittle it down to their 5 or 6, and then they bring in actually another group to read that to also score it, and then they add it up,
Big
and
process.
you have a winner.
That's great.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
takes a long time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now, for people who are not familiar with the Garden State Film Festival, they can actually go. You don't have to be in a movie to go to the festival. You can go and see a lot of the screenings, right?
Yeah, so anyone can come to the film festival. We screen over 200 films, and you pretty much can take a look at the online schedule just to see if there's anything that interests you. As if you're in the mood to just come to a movie, and you can just buy a ticket there at the festival or online.
And you might even meet people that are involved with the film, too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
most of the filmmakers. I mean, we've had people come from as far as New Zealand to come to the festival, filmmakers.
Yeah.
And that. And how it's set up, that we have 8 different venues going. And they go all day. They start around noon, and they go to 10, 11 o'clock at night. And each screening block is around 2 hours, roughly. Sometimes you'll have a feature and maybe one short, or maybe it's 6 or 7 short films. And what you can do is you can either buy a ticket for a particular screening block, or you can buy a weekend pass, which is your best bargain, for only $45, I think it is. And you can just go from block to block and see as many movies as you want.
I see a bunch of eclectic movies that you might not necessarily see in your local movie theater. They're going to be out.
Correct. And there are some movies that might end up there, and you'll see them first.
Right.
And you can see anything from regular narrative features, as we call them, what you would see at the movies, narrative feature, to documentaries.
Nice.
And, we've had, 2 years ago, we had 3 documentaries that went from us to PBS. But you
That's
saw
neat.
it here first, so it's really all really high quality.
What is the? I got to put you on the spot. Is there one film that is being put as the marquee film to be introduced to the public, or is
Well,
it
I think
kind of hard to say
it's
that?
a little broad. Obviously, for opening night we have Doe, which stars Jonathan Pryce,
Okay.
who right now is on Game of Thrones. Broadway people know him, of course, from Miss Saigon.
Yes.
And he's also one of the leading Shakespearean actors of a generation. So it's a great story. It takes place in London, and it's a relationship between a conservative Jewish man and a young Muslim boy, and it's a comedy. And so that's a great film.
Right.
But we there are tons of really good films. You have one with Kelsey Grammer and Adrienne Palicki, who is from Agent Shield, and she was also one of the stars of Friday Night Lights, called Baby, Baby, Baby. We have Monique, Oscar winner Monique. The East Coast premiere of her new film Interwoven will be shown,
Yeah.
and then you have documentaries. Great documentaries. You have Rite of Passage, which is narrated by Brooke Shields, and it's about reparations for the Japanese Americans that were put in camps during World War II. Embargo, which is about the Cuban Missile Crisis, and it features Robert Kennedy Jr., Lucy Arnaz, and Serge Khrushchev. So you have a really eclectic mix. You have the history of the Pledge of Allegiance, narrated by Ed Asner, who's going to be with us again.
That'll be fun.
He's a good friend and one of our honorary board members of the festival. And it's really interesting. When I was watching this, there's a lot of things you don't know about the Pledge of Allegiance. For instance, that it was actually written for the very first Columbus Day. And it was different then. It was much shorter. It was only 15 seconds long. It had to be so school children could memorize it.
Yeah.
Okay, so first Columbus Day, this was put in place. And then finally it got expanded. And the first time it was recited as a group by adults was here in New Jersey up at the Twin Lighthouse in the Highlands.
Wow.
So it's kind of neat. So you get all kinds of
So historical,
things like
cultural.
I love
fictional.
documentaries. It's a great way to learn, and you just sit back and sort of just take in the narrative there and everything. The films that are coming in from other countries, do you have subtitles, or are they translated, or how does that usually work for the festival?
If it is in a foreign language, there's subtitles. 'Cause
Okay.
You want to really retain the rhythms and the sounds.
You don't dub, they don't dub,
we don't dub at all. And of course, some of them are in English, even though they're from, obviously,
Gotcha.
if it's an English-speaking
Gotcha.
country.
How's New Jersey? Do we have anything represented this year, the filmmakers?
We have a lot of things from New Jersey.
Tons of things. One of my favorites is called Star-Crossed Lovers, and what it is, it's Romeo and Juliet set in Seagirt as Verona, but they don't call it Seagirt. They call it Verona. It's modern day, and unlike other adaptations where they really play with it and try to change it, they do Romeo and Juliet. It's all New Jersey cast, fabulous actors, and it's just that it's done in modern dress in Seagirt as Verona, somewhere else as the other, and it works wonderfully, and it's just great.
It's Romeo and Juliet in Monmouth County, Sue.
Yes.
And you know,
I like
a twist on that, we have a film from South Africa called Free State that is influenced or based, and certainly a nod towards Romeo and Juliet, because what it deals with a romance between a white person and someone of color.
Okay.
And the prohibitions there for that, and the chaste system. So it follows a pattern of Romeo and Juliet, even though it's not the Shakespeare. It's the
Two
nod
lovers
towards
sort
my
of
story.
against the odds type of thing going on.
And from the wrong families, you might say.
Excellent. How do we get information about the Garden State Film Festival?
Well, you can visit us online at gsff.org, or we are very social media savvy. We are on Facebook and Instagram and all of the fun social media platforms.
Well, we thank you guys for coming in. It kicks off on March 31st. It runs to April 3rd. We'll have information up on our website. Enjoy the arts here in the Garden State. I applaud you guys
Thank
for
you.
doing
Well,
that.
thanks
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us here.
And we'll get some pictures with
Thanks,
them. And we'll do
guys.
our social
Yeah.
media thing, too,
It's going to
Sue.
be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a short one year, Sue.
You
See,
think?
maybe if we,
There you go.
we promise them another, chime in. We can,
Yeah,
we
let's
could
do it.
use some influence to get a little
We
short.
know that. Yeah.
Short, We had this
do it.
idea for a short film. Sue just basically stumbles and falls everywhere.
Okay, yeah,
but it's a
that's right.
comedy thing. And
Yeah,
it's, I
Comedy
think
works.
it's a
We
little-
always need comedy.
A little Chaplin, if you will.
Yeah,
So.
comedy's harder to find.
Excellent, excellent. Listen, guys, thanks for coming
Thank
in.
you. Thank
Margaret
you.
Fontana, Nick Falcone with the Garden State Film Festival. Let's head out to the highways right now. Nancy Remy is in with the Ocean County Traffic Watch. Nancy, I could see you just loving and soaking up the Garden State Film Festival and some of the movies.
Know
Fun,
it to
right?
be true.
Yeah.
Absolutely know it. Big fan. All right, here's our deal.